Hello, my name is Odas. Today I'm presenting a FinTech Idempotency solution for the challenge that we have been provided. Network issues in FinTech activities causes transactions or payments to retry whenever the network comes back, and this can cause double charges when Idempotency-Gateway is not implemented. As shown by my architecture diagram, whenever a user sends a post request at process payment, our gateway intercepts the payment, then it computes a hash, then it gets the idempotency key from the database using an in-memory database. Then it's going to check if it exists or it has been modified. Then it can provide corresponding responses. Let me first show you this in action in Postman. Okay, in Postman, I start by the happy path. When the user is sending the correct idempotency key, then with the body having an amount of 100 GHS, whenever a user sends the request, it is going to wait 2 seconds, then show charged 100 GHS with a status and a transaction ID. The response is going to be 200. Okay. Then another user story occurs when a user is going to use the same idempotency key, or for any other issues, a new transaction comes with an existing idempotency key. That is, whenever a user sends a request, automatically with no latency, it's going to show the similar message like charged 100 GHS, then a status and transaction ID. It's not going to create a new transaction or a new charge to the user. And the third one is fraud check. Okay, this occurs when a user with an existing idempotency key tries to send a different body on my API, and okay, then 422 is going to be displayed as error code. Then the message is going to be idempotency key already used for a different request body. That is, there is mismatch between the hashes. Then okay, the idempotency key is valid, but due to a modified body, the hashes are going to be different. Then okay, this is going to be a way to check for the fraud that can be made. And okay, in some situations, maybe the header might be missing. Whenever a user sends a body with a idempotency key missing, it's going to say okay, missing required header. Okay. Jumping back to IntelliJ, let me show you where it all starts. Main, Java, then controller. Okay, this is the payment controller. This is where all stuff starts. It has a constructor which initializes idempotency service and an object mapper. Then the post mapping annotation maps the input request JSON to our process payment handler, which is going to get a key through request header and body through request body. Then again, it is going to compute the hash using a compute hash of payload hasher. The compute hash is going to get instance of SH8256, then encode the hash, then return base 1664 characters as a string. Then it returns it to the caller, which is going to be like to be stored in payload hash. Then a idempotency service is going to be used in its method of process with idempotency, passing idempotency key, payload hash, and the request. Okay, jumping in, this is where we're going to check if the idempotency key already exists. Whenever the record exists, but the hashes for the new request and the hash for an existing request doesn't match, then you are going to throw this exception, idempotency key already used for the different request body. Then okay, whenever two concurrent requests are sent, then we are going to, let me see. Okay, using this active promise.join, we are going to let the first request be executed. Then the other is going to wait the first to be executed. Then the second request that arrived is going to wait. Okay, then okay, Okay, let me see this. Okay, I also added for a developer a feature. I added a feature of a 24-hour time to read of those hashes to read in my memory. That is, whenever like a day passes and a transaction comes without it is going to be treated as a new transaction. Yes, as a transaction, and whenever the response is cache hit set to true, then the response x cache hit is going to be set to true. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.